Oh, okay. What's good, y'all? Welcome back to Freaky
Freaky
Fridays.
Friday.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I thought that was a real thing. I'm like, what is going on? So what'd you think of last week? Was it last week?
Last week was
Yeah.
good. Last week was good. I loved last week. We had a good turnout. I love the feedback we got. I love the conversation we had.
Yes.
Um, yeah, and
I
it's about
agree.
to get crazy.
Yes. Last week, okay, so last week we talked about the moon landing, if the moon landing was real or fake, and your thoughts on it, thoughts on it, thoughts on
Right, right.
it. So this time, we just have to go for it.
Yeah,
Flat Earth.
flat Earth, folks.
Flat Earth. Like
What y'all think about that?
everybody that I talk to, right?
Hmm.
Because I have a strong, strong belief system on the whole flat Earth thing. And everybody that I talk to, they don't think the same way as me. Some people have, but most people think that the flat Earth is stupid. What are your thoughts before we really started talking about it this week? What were your true thoughts on it? And be real. Be real
My
with me.
true thoughts on the flat Earth. It kind of it's like there's so much evidence that says, you know, fluid doesn't stand, can't stand on on a sphere. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Mm-hmm.
like it's physical evidence that says it can't. You know what I'm saying? It can't be round, but then there's also evidence that says it can't be flat. So it's just like I feel like personally, I feel like we are in like a system, and
Okay.
it sounds like system like
Ecosystem, right?
no,
No, not
like
ecosystem.
like a full a system. Like the United States is a place of business, is a place of culture. I won't even say culture. It's a place of like you got all types of arts and think different. It's diverse. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? You got a lot of job opportunities and things like that versus other places that are uh I don't want to say agriculturally, but infrastructurally
Mm.
sound. You know what I'm saying? Like they can go without the the nicest car. They can go without the nicest clothes
Mm.
and things like that. Um, but I feel like this planet
This planet
um
specifically.
is one of many, but this is the only planet like this
Hmm.
because it's too crazy. It's too wicked. It's too much going on
Mm.
for it to not be uh for it not to be a bigger
Like
a
for there to be
yeah, like it has to be
more
more to
people or
this.
more like another world and
Valid.
more things going on. Which don't get me wrong, I understand because I used to think that myself. Oh, I'm falling down. Hold up, yo.
Turn it off.
Huh? Can you use that one? All right. So my microphone's falling. Give me one. There we go. This is lit.
All right.
All right, I'm gonna hold it. I feel Is
Yeah,
it on? Can you hear me?
you should.
Okay. So here's the thing. I used to totally believe that I was huge into space.
Got you.
Like I was huge into space. I was huge into like sci-fi. I still love sci-fi stuff, but I was huge into that. So like I used to read articles when I was younger. I used to read techie magazines and all this stuff. And every single time they're like, oh, we're going in outer space, we're going here, we're going to the moon, we're going to Mars, we're going to all these planets. And I'm
Right.
like, wow, that's amazing. Like, that's amazing. It's crazy that the technology allows us to be able to do that.
Facts.
And I used to believe that all the time. Like, that was my thought. Like, growing up,
Yeah.
I was huge into that. I'm like, I'm not smart enough to go to NASA, but I want to know more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and I believed at one point, I was like, there's got to be aliens out there. We can't
Has
be the only
to.
ones here. And there's so many UFO sightings and different things like that. So I totally believe that for
Yeah.
a long time. A long
Word.
time. And what changed it for me, that was the moon landing.
Word.
It was the moon landing, and we talked about that last week. But also it was just like there's just some facts that I didn't understand, like with the Big Bang Theory. I'm like, okay, I'm a Christian. I
Right.
believe in God, and I read the Bible. I believe the Bible is true.
Mm-hmm.
And God says so many things in the Bible that does not match with what we're taught in school. So I would question my science teachers.
Word.
I would literally, like, I would question the one time I questioned my science teacher, I'm like, how can you say you're a Christian and you teach science, which
Facts.
is such a hardcore question.
Fact.
for
It's
a
like
high
punch to
schooler.
punch in the mouth.
Yeah, and they basically was just like, like, this is just my job. Like,
Valid.
this is just my job. And so for me, that was kind of like my thought process. I'm like, okay, but the older I got, the more I really started digging into different information and really
Mhm.
getting into conspiracy theories. And what really did it for me with the whole flat earth thing was them talking about the scriptures. The fact that it straight up says that God separated the waters from the waters. We was
Facts.
talking about this earlier. And I'm like, waters from the waters.
Right.
So that means that there's water here on Earth, but then there's water outside
Somewhere
of Earth.
else.
Yeah.
Above us.
Above us. Right? Or all around us.
Or all around us.
You know what I mean?
Oh, that's.
Think about
What if we are breathing water, bro? Like,
Well,
what if this
hold
is
on.
like.
I got you. Because think about this. For 9 months, we're where? When we're first born.
Water.
In water. In water. So it's just like, so I know it's like all kind of jumping around a bit.
Ain't no
but
water in space.
ain't no water. Yeah, well,
Have you been
that's
to
the whole
space?
thing. The whole
Prove
thing
it.
is that clearly that space is supposed
Is
to be a
water.
vacuum. That is nothing there, like, besides the
What if you
stars and all
smoking
that
water?
stuff.
Yo, shut up.
What if you smoking water? Listen. Stranger things have happened. No,
Facts. Listen.
But
it's stuff going on every day.
Yeah, for real. But no, the like what really, like, not just that, but even talking about the firmament. I don't know if y'all have ever searched up information about the firmament, but do you know exactly what the firmament is?
Mm-hmm.
Have you searched up?
A little bit.
Okay. He said a little bit.
A little bit. A big piece of ice.
I'm super into this stuff, so
Listen.
y'all can see how passionate.
No facts.
So, like, the description of how the firmament is, like, it's a solid. I don't like. It doesn't say exactly what it is. Like, it's not like it's an ice, or I don't know what it is, but it's a solid dome. Okay, stick with me. A solid dome that's over Earth, right? And so, how it's described is like Earth is flat, like a disc with upturned edges, which would be, I know I'm about to just say it all straight up, and then we'll get into it if y'all have questions. But it's flat with upturned edges, okay, and then there's a dome that covers to protect you from the waters outside the dome, which also, I just want to point this out again with scripture, because we use
Yeah, okay, for sure.
When the flood happened, think about this. The flood happened, and he did what? He opened up the gates to let water in to flood the earth. Where
Open
come from?
the floodgates of heaven.
And I know that there's also a possibility. I think I read. Now I'm not 100% sure on this one or not. I will have to search it up. But that water was coming up from the ground also.
Yeah.
So that makes you wonder, though. Okay, you got water coming out from the ground, and you got water coming out
From the
outside
heavens.
the dome.
So that must mean the water is separated.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. It is not even just that. Like there's so many things that they tell us. Okay, as far as the shape of the earth, like we talked about this last time about all of the images. There's no real images of Earth from space.
Valid.
Not a single
All
one is real.
Photoshop.
They're all Photoshop. The ones that you see of the ball and all of that. And then the ones that are in the space station where people take pictures of the Earth in the space station is like a corner piece through a window.
Facts.
Like
Yo.
you know what I'm talking
Legit.
about?
Like a set.
Like it's just yeah. Like so I'm just like I have some questions. I know it sounds ridiculous when you first hear it. It always sounds ridiculous. That was the first thing I said when I heard about flat earth was like this is the stupidest
It can't be. That don't even sound right.
Yeah, like
Christopher Columbus put the egg on the table and it stood up, so the earth gotta be round.
Basically.
Duh. No.
And then in the past, like in history, they're saying, oh, like a lot of people actually believed that the earth was round way before whatever person discovered that the earth was round and all this other stuff. However, my question with this is if we are on a ball earth rotating around the sun, okay, and all of that's rotating through infinite space, then how come the stars are the same?
You know, Frank, that's for next week.
I thought you were all
next week.
Next week.
Yes. Yes.
Next week, Frank.
For sure.
But we will be pre-recorded with next week.
Yes. Maybe Wednesday.
Yeah, that was one of the questions I always had was how is it that the stars are the same? They use the stars to track time, to track direction. Like, you know what I'm saying? How can you do that if we're constantly going at hold up, how fast I searched this up last time?
Yeah, you did.
It was like a ridiculous amount. How fast are we? I will have to search it up in a second because I can't search it up holding the mic. I don't think it's gonna stay. No. Yeah, no, it's not staying. That's all right though. I'll hold it. It's no big deal. But anyways, so that was just some of the things that that I had questions on, and then there's so much more. Thank you. I have two microphones. That's how important I am. You really gotta hear what I have to say. You really gotta hear what I have to say.
No, valid. We got stuff to talk about.
For you, like as far as just when we were talking about it, what are some questions that you kind of had that you're like, I don't know.
I always felt like so I've just recently started this whole conspiracy, you know what I'm saying? Talking to your mic?
Hello?
Got you.
You got it.
I've just recently started diving into this. And I've always been a person to ask questions. You know what I'm saying? I didn't just follow and blindly.
Right.
I need an understanding. So I've always asked questions or always had questions about certain things. I just never really put the thought into researching them for myself. But recently I've been digging and diving and looking and researching and thinking. And my outlook, my question would be, where did it begin?
Like where did
all of it? Like what caused the earth to be flat? If the earth is flat, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, why was the firmament created? You get what I'm saying? Like, why were these things put in position? so that for like I get the separation of the waters,
Right.
you know,
Mhm.
but like if they're separated, why do we need to be covered?
That's a good question. I guess I never
You get what I'm
thought
saying?
about that
Like
either. Yeah.
we're not even really that. We're in a vacuum.
Basically.
We're in a vacuum
Mhm.
because if you put a cup over water, it'll pretty much seal that air inside of there.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much what we're living in. And it's like, what'll happen if the dome wasn't there?
No one wasn't there. Yeah.
What would happen if the firmament didn't exist? You get what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
what other worlds are out there that they don't want us to see?
Okay, so I think I know what you're talking about as far as like so there was a picture, and this is a like something that some people believe in, is that the not only is the earth flat, but so the whole idea with the flat earth is that there is an ice wall. I know it sounds kind of silly, but when you actually look up how big these ice walls are in Antarctica and how you can't even there's not like you can't go out there, like
Right.
there's no fuel that will last long enough for you to even travel beyond the ice walls in Antarctica.
Oh, that's
Like
crazy.
it's just nothing. It's
Yeah.
cold nothingness, supposedly. Right?
Good evening, Christopher.
Good evening. So turn on her new mic.
It's on.
Oh, it's on. Okay.
Yeah.
So one of the things that people believe is that like the flat earth with the ice wall around it, but that outside the ice wall there's more land, and that there's more, there's more stuff going on, and
Right.
so on and so forth, and like it goes on for a certain amount of whatever.
Right.
And like I can't say that that's wrong or right because truly don't know. There are articles of different explorers who have gone to different places who talked about different things in their journals. One of the other things I want to say, was it Admiral Byrd is one of the like people that people bring up all the time when it comes to like hollow earth. Is it hollow earth?
Yes.
Because that's another theory.
Valid.
Is that the
earth is a spaceship
hollow on the inside. Yeah. And the crazy part about that is it's kind of hard to be like
no, it's not.
You know what I'm saying?
No,
it's kind of hard to, agree or disagree. And simply because with the hollow earth theory, with Admiral Byrd went on television talking about how he went to these places, like he went to Antarctica, and that there is more land down there, and that there's a spot you can go through
underground,
the ice wall.
Yes.
Then he also talked about that, like he went to the Arctic, the opposite direction, basically the center of the earth,
right,
and that at the center there's a hole, there was people in there flying different aircrafts, and like there's like a whole city, like a civilization.
Yes,
and
I did see that.
It's kind of like, is he just making this up? Is this just him saying that, or could this be real? Now, one thing that I will say about the hollow earth theory, I wouldn't necessarily say that the earth is hollow, because even with the way that I believe that the earth is shaped, and that even just how history has been taught to us, I totally believe different things, y'all. I really do. And it's not just because like I'm not just making this stuff up. It's not like I didn't do good in school, and you know what I'm saying, like I wasn't NASA good in school, but I was good enough in school to get a scholarship and stuff like that to go to college. So I understand history, I understand science and all that stuff on the same level that most people understand it. And there is a point where some things just are completely lied to us about.
Oh, valid.
One of the things that, and these all are connected, that's why I'm bringing it up. One of the things is that with the hollow earth, and how I could truly see that being a possibility, that maybe not so much deep inside the middle of the earth, but just below where we are right now, is because they constantly find all types of caves and all types of stuff underground. There's secret military bases underground. Valid. You know what I'm saying? Like there's
warehouses underground.
They have doomsday bunkers underground.
Valid.
And not just that, but if you ever look at some buildings and you see like some of these buildings or how they say, oh, we discovered whatever through the mud and all these different things like that, it's like this stuff was buried.
Valid.
So how far down is stuff buried? You're not gonna build no building. You're not gonna put windows halfway, like windows that are supposed to be long and tall,
Valid.
but only the top of it is showing out the ground.
Facts. That
Something
doesn't make
ain't right
sense.
with that.
Facts.
Like, so I could see that hollow earth theory. There might be some truth to that. In China, let me see. I think this was last year. When they found the extra land in China. Let me see.
Underwater.
It was no
Okay.
like there was a sinkhole, and the sinkhole fell away. Let me see if I can find it. I'm pretty sure it was last year. Yeah, last year. Last year. So search this up. Last year, there was a sinkhole discovered in southern China. And in the sinkhole, there was like a whole preserved ancient forest. Exactly. How could if
That's crazy. I just searched up Southern China sinkhole and forest came
came
up.
up? Yeah.
That's crazy.
So it's like so it's like I think it was 600 feet down or 600 meters down. I have to see exactly how far. 630 feet down.
Wow.
A whole a giant forest.
Facts.
Like not just like a a regular forest, like an actual giant forest. 600 feet
Underground.
underground.
No sunlight. No nothing.
No nothing, right?
But they say plants need sunlight to grow.
I'm just saying.
But we talking about trees underground.
Trees,
Okay.
grass.
Make it make sense, Sway.
So there is that's one thing that makes you go,
Facts.
So that I could totally see the hollow earth theory. And there are other things too. Like the giants. I gotta talk about the giants.
Talk about the giants.
Giants and giant bones and different things. Just different things that have been found.
Valid.
Buried underneath dirt and all these different things.
Facts.
And it makes you wonder, like, how did all these things that are so huge get buried?
Right.
What happened that caused them to get buried in the first place? Not just like one thing or two
millions of
whatever,
things.
but like millions of things buried under rock, sediment, dirt, and stuff like that. That didn't happen over millions of years.
Valid.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what's really going on?
No, facts.
But back to the flat earth thing. So I just want to explain this so you can understand. The flat earth, how it's described, like that the sun, first of all, the sun is obviously for daylight,
right,
heat, and there's certain obviously vitamins that we get from
the sun. Valid.
However, the moon, I don't know if you knew this, so I'm letting y'all know. I don't know if y'all knew this or not, but the moon, not only does it give off, and trust me, not only does it give off its own light, because I know, sounds weird, but in moonlight, it's colder than in the shadows at night. And this is actually a fact.
Wait, in the moonlight?
In the moonlight.
So like if the moonlight is beaming down on you, it's colder than it is in the shade?
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's like how is that possible?
Facts.
If it's how they explain.
No, facts.
Like how can the moonlight actually, like the light itself, be colder? I'm just saying there are some questionable things. Like why don't they teach us about this?
No, facts. That's weird.
If the moon is just, what did they say, an asteroid that got stuck in I'm serious. Okay, hold on, let me see, because I'm pretty sure this is what it is. Yeah. How was the moon created? Moon formed, right?
Yeah.
The moon was formed, and this is the accepted theory.
Okay.
Remember, everything is a theory.
Right. We got facts.
That there was a giant impact, and that during this collision, that the moon. Hold on, let me read it right. Its purpose is that the moon formed during a collision between the Earth and another small planet about the size of Mars. That I'm not joking.
Whoa.
So I just like this is the stuff that makes me go because you're telling me that a collision caused the moon to form into a perfect sphere and rotate at a perfect distance
Facts.
at
Make
a
it make
perfect
sense.
speed. Because you gotta remember, if it's slightly off, if it was slightly further,
Right.
or slightly closer, it would change so many things.
Absolutely.
So this just happened.
Right.
Just like with the Big Bang Theory, we banged in the experience, and and then everything just
appeared.
created itself
Like,
and
come on,
grew
man.
and evolved and all of that.
No.
I just, sometimes I just feel like these things don't make no sense. There's a real big question mark.
Make it make sense, folks.
Yeah. And I feel like, it's not because one of the hardest things about even learning these things and doing research is accepting the fact that you might have been lied to by literally
everyone. Everybody. Like down to the teachers, down to the people that wrote the school books,
all of
down
them.
to the
just
people that sent you to school every day.
Yeah. And it's not like they lied on purpose.
No,
some people
facts.
genuinely just
They
don't
just
know.
They believed what they were
They
told.
just believe what they were told.
Valid. And we have to do a lot of unlearning.
Yes.
Like we can't be so privy because they say it that makes it true. No. We have to ask questions. We have to find out, because you'll be walking blind, believing nonsense when it's all right in front of you, So
And that's it's just like I'm not here to make anybody feel any kind
not
of way,
whatsoever.
because people do get defensive. Like there have been times where I've talked to people about it and they was getting angry, like they wanted to fight me, and I'm like, dang,
wow,
like, you feel that strongly to what you believe growing up that that even just talking about the possibility that it's something different
facts
makes you that uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know on that one. But I will say this: why I truly believe that the Earth is flat, besides just the Bible stuff, right? Because the Bible just makes it clear the Earth doesn't move. Like it straight up says that in Scripture. Earth doesn't move. There's a firmament.
Facts.
Like these things are, that God looks at it like a tent. Like we're like a tent. I think that's how the Scripture goes.
Word.
So like these, like he says these things, and I get, even if he's talking in metaphor, what
valid? What else could he mean?
What right? If he meant it as a ball, he would say a ball.
Like
if it was a metaphor that way. That's my personal opinion. But what really like makes me feel that way is when I started doing the research too about like the distances, and I think we talked about this the last time a little bit, the distances of how far you can see before there's curvature, and how there's a whole calculator online for you to do research and find out, and then you come to find out like
facts,
that's not true. Because there are literally pictures taken where it should be impossible to see like a certain city skyline from a certain distance and different things like that.
Yeah,
clear as day, clear as freaking day. So I'm like, okay, so all these things, like
no, valid, like.
And then I know a lot of times people say, well, how does that work with the sun and the moon, right? Because I know that's a big question. How can that work with the sun and the moon? Well, in the firmament, okay, I'm gonna say a couple things first.
Go ahead.
First off, the other planets, the wandering stars. Search that up. What the wandering stars are considered. And even in the ancient times, the wandering stars.
Valid.
And in the firmament is the rest of the stars. Like everything is in the firmament. That's why I said I don't know. It doesn't make it clear what the firmament is.
Fact.
Just that it's solid. But how thick is it? How solid is it? Is it a solid that we know of? Could it be a material that we've never discovered?
No, valid.
I use my quotations because because I just feel like the government be so full of crap.
Oh
And they
yeah,
know way more than they say. But
way more.
that the sun and the moon, first off, here's another one. I'm just laying it out there. The sun and the moon are the same size, which sounds ridiculous. But have you ever looked up like at a cloudy day and seen the sun kind of behind the clouds?
Mm-hmm. I've s- so I've I find it weird to see the moon in the daytime.
Because
Like when I was a kid, like I didn't always, it wasn't that clear as it is now.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like I can look up, oh, there's the moon. Tomorrow I can look up, oh, there's the moon again in the same spot. In the same spot, mind you. But to have that, to be able to see something that's supposed to be so far away, it shouldn't even be as big as it is.
Right.
Like my eye should not, it should be almost as if there's a needle up there that I'm looking at. Not no polka dot sticker. Legit. Like there's no reason I should be able to look up and look at the sun.
You know,
Although
these are questions.
although it is scientifically proven that watching the sunrise has health benefits. Yes. You that is during the sunrise is the only time you can look into the sun.
Wow.
Take that, use it.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to search that up for sure.
No, for sure.
For sure.
Yeah. You like what? For
They're just, I mean,
sunbathe.
it's just interesting. I'm gonna just say that. That's my disclosure, is that it's interesting. It's
Facts.
very interesting.
Frank talking.
Huh?
Frank said we gotta reprogram this. Whatever that means.
Sounds
I know what it means.
like a plan. So one of the things, okay, so let me just finish explaining. So the sun and the moon, both in the firmament, and if you could just picture in your mind, right, where the sun is and then the moon being on the opposite sides. However, because they rotate around the earth, and I know it will be, I'm trying to think of the perfect way to describe it, but because they will be above the earth, rotating, right? And they rotate at different speeds. That's how you get like the different, that's how you get the different seasons. That's how you get like all these different, the things that happen,
right?
As far as like the new moon, this, and all these things, it's the same principle,
Right.
Instead of it being on this scale, it's on this scale, like it's on a flat earth scale, like it's just And interesting enough, two things that I learned this week. One is the yin yang symbol.
Oh,
so the yin yang symbol, you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
The yin yang symbol. One of the theories that I was reading about was like the yin yang symbol comes out of the fact that the earth is flat, and that the way that the yin yang go is that the one is the moon and one is the sun.
Right.
I know that sounds crazy, but
they are one within each other.
They need each other to function.
So,
right?
Oh man.
You know what I'm saying? Like it can't just be an accident that happened when
Not
they
at
need
all.
each other to function.
Facts.
And then on top of that, and they say that the light from the moon is the reflection of the sun. Correct? That's
what they say.
Right. But I know I just dropped a bomb on you when I said about the temperature changes.
Right.
So the whole thing with that, the problem with the reflection being the light source on the moon and from the moon is that the whole conversation about it being seen in the daytime, where the part of the moon that could be seen could be the opposite of where the sun's at.
Oh, valid.
So how is that possible?
Wow.
These are just like simple questions, like how is that possible?
How
can the moon be here with light here and the sun be here? even if it was in outer space, even if it was in
Facts.
outer space, the whole thing about the sun in outer space makes absolutely no freaking sense to me, period. Because the sun is supposed to be, how big is the sun? The sun, let me see. I'm typing it in, y'all. Give me a second. Okay. So the sun is supposed to be I'm sorry. 864 miles in diameter, which makes it 109 times wider or bigger than the Earth.
Okay.
800 around.
Right.
In around, there's no end.
There's no
It's a
end.
circle.
Right.
But around
From top to bottom and
800,000
back up.
miles.
That's
So to me, it's like, okay, so the sun is 800,000. It's 10 times, or excuse me, 109 times the size of Earth.
and what size is
But,
the moon?
huh?
What size is the moon?
Let me see. How big is the moon? The moon is 1,000 miles around.
Mm.
The moon 1,000 miles around. The sun 876,000 miles around.
That's
And
nuts.
somehow we are so perfectly placed from the sun that we don't burn the hell up and die.
Right.
Okay.
Facts.
Or, or we're not too far away that we freeze. Okay. And that at the same time, the light that can be shown is only a certain amount of light coming from the sun to Earth and to the moon.
Facts.
Think about that. It's 109 times bigger. 109 times bigger.
It should
But
swallow the Earth.
It should make the.
It should illuminate this bitch all the way around.
Basically, there should only be like maybe a couple places on the Earth
Underground.
that don't get light.
Underground.
If we're alone.
No, facts.
Because how?
Facts.
How? You know what I'm saying? Something don't. It just doesn't make sense.
So then you got, okay, I'm gonna be the devil's advocate.
Okay.
So what about, why is it dark? Why is it dark in some areas of the Earth at certain times and light at the same time?
Like as far as the flat Earth goes, or as far as like the ball Earth goes?
People, the ball Earth people.
Okay. So
you get what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't make sense.
Facts.
Because there's no way, with the sun being as big as it is, there's no way that there shouldn't be more light.
Facts. I feel like if there is, right?
Uh-huh.
And we got this
the mouse.
The mouse right here.
Okay.
We don't got no ball.
I know. We only have structured objects.
We have, matter of fact, I'll use the mic. We have the mic.
Okay, that's perfect.
It's round at the top.
So we'll say that is that gonna be the sun or is that gonna be Earth?
That's Earth.
Okay, that's Earth.
Now, let's say my flashlight is the Earth, right? Now, if we're this close,
right.
So there's a shadow.
He's testing out theories, y'all.
There's a shadow here, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there's no light right here.
Right.
Only from what else is around.
Right.
But in Earth, in the universe, there's no other light, right?
But the light is reaching 3/4 of the whole entire Earth, or you know what I'm saying?
Valid.
But now if you move it closer, right? You move it closer and look what you got. Now go around it.
Valid.
The light is only it's localized. It's only in those specific areas. Just like in is it Alaska? When you get further north, there are time periods where it looks like the sun doesn't set, and there are time periods where there's no sun at all.
Oh, in
Yeah,
Alaska, yes.
in Alaska, and I think
Yes.
it's in Antarctica as well.
Word.
Why? How is that possible?
Valid.
And then, when they factor in, oh, well, the earth tilts and it because don't forget that as it's spinning, as the earth itself is spinning, it's tilting, it's spinning
And
and
tilting.
tilting and spinning around the sun at the same time. So it's, yes,
So it's spinning.
spinning, and tilting. Not tilting, like, tilting.
Hold on. I want y'all to see this.
This is this is his example, y'all. I can't.
All right, I'm
It's-
pushing buttons on this mic.
Oh, you push a button.
Can't push the wrong button.
Yeah.
But no.
There's some questions like how
No facts.
is that possible? However, if you think about it from a flat Earth stance, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you ever search up video footage of like when the sun is, I think it's 6 months out the year you can see it, and then 6 months out the year you can't. Like, it's darkness.
Right.
When you look up the video footage, it literally just looks like the earth is going, like the sun is going like this. Like, I'm not joking. Like, it never actually sets. It's just the whole point. What I'm trying to make is that it's perspective.
Oh, valid.
So if I'm standing here and there is something coming from here to here and passes by me, okay, goes over top of me,
Right.
goes back and goes off, if it looks like it's setting,
Right.
because I can only see so far.
Valid.
But with cameras and different other things like that,
You can create.
you can still see certain things.
Facts.
Like, that's the same way with like boats. They say that when boats go over the horizon, that's the curvature,
Right.
because the water is higher than the bottom of the boat. So it must be going over the curve. However, when you take a camera and you zoom in, you can still see the bottom clear as day.
Facts.
And it shouldn't be possible. These are things that they say is not possible.
Right. Legit.
There was like a guy who's very serious, and there's books out there too. I think one is called Terraforma, something like that.
Terra. Oh yes.
You know what
I was.
You just looking this up.
Let me put you down.
Yeah, because there's actually books out there like this. Sometimes it feels like when you first are learning about it.
I'm
like
on
I
a
said,
journey.
it feels like it could be ridiculous. It really does.
Terra
Because it's not what we are taught.
Infinita. Infinita. Terra Infinita. Extraterrestrial worlds and their civilizations. There's a book.
Listen, and not even just that. They say extraterrestrial, right?
Yes.
Now this goes back to the whole extra land, because what is terrestrial?
Terrain.
What is terra? All these words, when you search up the actual meaning of these words.
So I have this map I want to show you guys. This map right here. Right? If you look around the edge, well, I can't zoom in.
Oh,
But
there you go.
yeah, but they can't zoom in.
Oh yeah.
But if you look around here, well, y'all can't see the mouse either. If y'all look around the edge right here, that little
Where there's other
where those
land?
ripples are, and then where that land looks like there's other land. The middle of that is the United States. That stuff inside the red circle and a little bit outside the red circle is the United States. So please explain to me what this land, this grassy knoll, and this sandy looking knoll, and this grassy knoll, and this whatever deserty looking place looks. What's out here? I wish I could zoom
That's a
in,
great question.
because if you look, you'll see like small depiction of like alligators and certain land animals and mammals. Like there's more out there, bro. There's more out there, and they don't want us to know about it for whatever reason. I don't know.
I mean, it's
But
it's
yeah, I
possible.
just
It's definitely possible. And the other reason that I would say too is like everything comes from something.
valid.
There is nothing that comes from nothing. The only thing that and I honestly don't know because it's never stated,
Well,
but the only thing I could think of that comes from nothing is God, but it never even
no
states
valid.
that he comes from nothing. It's
Facts.
everything comes from something. You know what I'm saying? And it's just if you go and look at old maps, there's land, not even
Mac
just like
Mac, the earth is flat and nobody has been to space. That's what I believe. Listen, Doc,
that's what I believe too.
we in the same
That is
boat.
what I believe also. Um there is other land out there. There's like I was saying this even about the whole Google Earth thing. When you zoom in on certain areas, there's pictures of random places. You
Facts.
know what I'm saying? Like there's so much out there that we don't know and we get sheltered and we're taught to believe only a certain kind of thing. My
Mhm.
ultimate reason, I never got to say this, but my ultimate reason too about believing that the earth is flat is because if and like I said, I'm a Christian. This is really like it really does stem from my true deep feelings of how I feel about God and how I feel about just creation in general. I 1,000,000% believe that we were created, you know, and I really truly believe that we were created for a purpose. Like we were all created for a purpose. And
Mhm.
that the devil really is a liar. He really is a trickster. Like
No
he
valid.
really is trying to manipulate you and different things like that. So what would be the greatest thing the lie could do? Like, I mean, the lie. See, it's coming out. What could be the greatest thing that the devil could do is lie to you about how your
Your
history,
existence.
your existence.
Valid.
You don't matter because you're just a speck in the galaxy of infinite nothingness. You don't matter. Your life is meaningless. But when you look at it from God's point of view,
Right, right.
he created you. He created you in his image.
Facts.
He created everything around you perfectly so that you could be here. That everything revolves around us. We are the center. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
So that is one of the things that really makes me feel like, you know, there's got to be some truth to that because God is
Facts.
not a liar.
Not at all.
You know what I'm saying? So there's truth,
Right. It got
and
to
it
be.
just makes you go, You know what I'm saying? What do you think?
Max said, I believe it's an ice bridge around the earth. That's why nobody can go to Antarctica.
So with that, as far as the ice wall or the ice bridge, I think that at a certain point, like you can't go to, we cannot just go to Antarctica. There are cruises that you can go on. There are certain guided tours that cost
You ain't gonna
thousands of
touch land.
dollars that you can do to go to Antarctica. But going to Antarctica by yourself and just
I want
walk
to go to
around,
Antarctica.
yeah, whatever, you can't do that. Like it's literally illegal. The military will stop you
I
or
wonder
they will kill
why.
you. Hold on. Not only that, but I wonder why there is a treaty, one treaty, whole entire world, okay, that every country is signed off on, and that's the Antarctica Treaty. There's a one place where all the governments in the world agree on for a treaty, and that's Antarctica.
Hmm.
Military experiments can happen there,
Facts.
different things like that, but
Secret stuff.
no civilians can just go there. They
I'm
can't just
gonna
explore
say
there.
this. If they have a place where you can get your personal information seen by a perfect stranger, hint aka public records, there's no reason for them to hide anything from us. You
And
feel me? If there's only one reason we can't go somewhere, because there's something you don't want us to see,
yeah, that's
something
it.
you don't want us to know.
Because we can go to Brazil or go to the Amazon jungle.
Facts.
Dangerous.
Mount
You'll
Everest.
probably die. You ain't gonna make it, but you can go there.
No valid.
And if you get lost, good luck. But you can't go to Antarctica. So it can't be
That's
the excuse
crazy.
of danger or weather or anything like
Yeah,
that. Like no.
because there wouldn't be a treaty.
Exactly.
yeah, everybody signed this contract.
Yeah, this is the treaty. This is
Nobody
one
from your
place.
country, continent, or other residents can go to Antarctica
And it's
because
crazy.
we said so.
It's like, okay, not even just that, right? But there's actual evidence that in some places in Antarctica, that there used to be grass and land and trees and different things like
Valid.
that. So again, what happened? You know what I'm saying? Like what happened? And also too, because I have to say this, because it all ties together. The one thing that if we never been to space, the earth is flat, there's a dome over it, right? What are UFOs and aliens? What are these situations of people saying that they were abducted or different things like that? If and it's not like it's fake because the government has released information saying like UFOs are real, that they have their Starship Trooper program, whatever it's called, the
Yeah.
military branch to defend the world against an
From the
outside
space out
invader.
space
The
invasion.
space, yeah, like and more. Recently, there was like the Pentagon was saying a hypothetical. I had to search it up because I thought he was saying it for real,
Mhm.
that there was really a mothership that could have been in our atmosphere.
Mhm.
But he said it was a hypothetical question, and it makes you wonder like why they disclosing the UFOs? Why did they make a space? Why did the government make a military branch
For
specifically
space.
for space invaders? That just alone is like
Alarming.
what the like
Facts. Like
that's why. So it makes you wonder, right? If we can't go out of the dome, okay? If we are here and that's it, okay? Then what is these UFOs? What are these so-called what is this? And that's a
facts.
whole nother conspiracy, y'all.
No,
That's
legit.
a whole other
Like
conspiracy on that.
oh, we running over.
But it does tie in. Because
Facts.
everything, I promise you, one thing that you'll get out of this conversation with me at least is that every single conspiracy is connected. And
Facts.
everything goes back to God. Everything goes back to God. Everything. I
Legit.
promise you, if you dig enough, it's
I
gonna
feel
go back
like
to God.
if we can't go over it, we can go through it
You feel like
or
we can
under
go
it.
through or under it?
Because
Um,
ice doesn't sink; it floats.
Now here's the thing about going under, right? There was a documentary on the Discovery Channel where this guy, I think he was it, I forgot what it was for. I think it was for Avatar or something. But they went into the ocean. It was the deepest exploration, and they got to a point where there was a lake in the
Underwater,
ocean.
bro.
A lake in
Like
the ocean. And that when he tried to go into this lake in the ocean, that the thing he was in bounced off.
facts.
But fish could swim through it. What material? What is this
Facts.
substance? And this is like facts. This is not me
Oh,
making
man.
anything up. This is like you could search up this dot. You could see it. There's video footage of this lake
That's
in the
crazy.
ocean.
I seen a movie. It's a cartoon, Disney movie,
Mm.
and he went underwater. I want to say Moana, but whoever got the big Hawaiian dude with the tattoos,
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
he went underwater and legit hit a area where it seemed to be water, but he went under, and pretty much when he went under it, he was able to flip,
And it was a whole.
and he went down and was able to stand and like it was something down there, but it was a cartoon, so it was, you know what I'm saying.
I mean, but they tell you, look,
Listen,
movies and TV shows, y'all gotta really pay attention to them.
no,
Seriously,
valid.
because some of them,
That's our time.
there's almost okay. Well, last thing I'll say is this: there's a commercial for a beer or a liquor. I want to say it's for Corona. No, not Corona. Crown. I want to say it's for Crown. And in the commercial, there's two commercials actually. In this commercial, they are replicating. Remember that article I told you about last time where it was talking about the first people to go up and actually
Yes.
see? So they replicated that with two scientists in this bubble, in this balloon
Yes.
going up, right? And as they're going up, this is go you go like this one. As they're going up, right? And they're seeing the earth is flat, they're seeing the upturned edges, they're seeing all this as they're going up, they break through, and when they come through, it's water and it flips just like how you said. But this is supposed to be a commercial for liquor. I'm gonna show you afterwards. Yeah. My brother showed me, and I said, no freaking way. No freaking way.
Wow.
There's so many things that
The world may never know.
I'm serious.
How many
man.
licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? The world may never know. Okay.
I'm so
The
serious.
government is never going to tell you the truth.
They're not. They're not going to tell you the truth because it goes against their agenda.
Facts.
Because imagine if we all learned the truth.
Imagine finding out you are a supernatural being.
Man.
Imagine finding out that your mind can tap in and create everything that you think about. Like, imagine living in a world where you eat your energy, where you consume everything that you need to heal your body, right? But that also connects your consciousness to its higher consciousness, right? What could we do?
I mean,
We could create a world with a firmament around it.
I know what you're talking about. I know what theory you're talking about.
You know, so
I know what theory
I'm
you're
just
talking
saying, if they pumped us full of chemicals, metals, and all these different things that we call food, snacks, water, you know, to the point where it really severed our connection to our higher power. Completely severed it. Our pineal gland is what connects us to our higher consciousness. But, you know, we got to eat healthy. We got to do right. And we got to ask questions because, I mean, it's not just going to come to you.
Well, listen, because you making me. There's other listen.
Listen,
there's more theory. There's theories that connect to that, and those connect
to
back to
everything.
everything.
Like,
I'm so serious.
there-
Even down. Okay, real quick.
go ahead, yo.
Real quick, because
We got to go. Facts.
But when you get a chance, search up the history of corn. Okay,
Corn.
I know corn. Right?
I would never.
The history of corn. There's a couple things with the history of corn. Way back. First off, corn can't sustain in a place that is not grown, like unless it's taken care of. I
Got you.
think that's how it's worded. Like if it's not taken care of, the corn will not, like, it won't just grow on its own in certain areas.
Right. Got you.
Corn is only native to certain areas. This all connects. I promise you.
No, I got you.
There is a theory that the first genetic modification.
Not I love corn.
LOL, that's my best friend.
What up, bestie?
There is a theory that corn is the first genetically
modified
food.
I believe
But
it.
if you search up the history, not only that, but there is a theory of guess who genetically modified this corn. This is gonna get wild. The fallen angels. I know. You're like, huh? Here's what I'm gonna tell you. The fallen angels, when the fallen angels came here, what they were doing when they got here was teaching the humans here, teaching them how to craft things out of metal, teaching them. You got to think, Adam and Eve knew certain things, right?
Valid.
And that when Adam, I know this is just took you to a whole different direction, but it's
No, you're
connected.
good. It's connected. I
promise
get it.
It's connected. When Adam and Eve fell, basically,
Mm-hmm.
okay, and they were kicked out of the Garden of Eden. Which another question: do you think Adam and Eve had belly buttons? But I'm not gonna go there. I know it's a weird question, but it's something to think about.
Because they didn't come out of a womb.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
I told you I got a lot. But when they were kicked out of the Garden of Eden, right? And after they had their kids and stuff like that, Cain went off, and he had to have the mark and everything like that, so he wouldn't be killed in the wilderness.
Right.
And at the same time that Cain goes off, because later on in the Bible it talks about all these cities, and you're like, where do these cities come from?
Right.
Right. Because remember, the fallen angels, when the fallen angels came here, they were teaching. They wasn't teaching Adam and Eve. They wasn't teaching Adam and Eve's that lineage. They was teaching Cain how to use metals, how to use crystals and different things like that. Alchemy.
Right.
Because before witchcraft and all that stuff is alchemy.
Facts.
Pharmakia.
Yes.
Comes from alchemy.
Yes.
Pharmakia to pharmacy to I promise it's all connected. But that the fallen angels was the one teaching them these things. So the whole theory with the corn is that the corn can be tracked. So if corn can be tracked and you go far back enough, it talks about genetic modification. Where did this knowledge come from?
Valid.
So this is what I'm saying. Like
it's too many questions.
There is more to the, and then once you get into the whole corn and how corn became the symbol, I'm gonna say this last part. I'm gonna mess y'all brains up real quick. I just want to try to search up. If you go far back enough, some people are gonna disagree, but that the fleur de lis.
Okay.
That the symbol,
yes,
originally represented corn. I know, sounds crazy, because the fleur de lis. Yeah, I'm telling you, go search it up, and you'll see all these different artifacts. You'll start to see crowns and symbols of people like these different deities wearing what's supposed to be the fleur de lis, but it's a representation of corn.
Corn,
and then.
Oh,
so that's
wow.
Because then you're going to ask, well, why did they genetically modify corn? What was the point of that? There's so much, and it's all connected, because not even just that, but even money-wise, and if you follow the money, you follow different things that were created. It all ties in. It all ties in. I promise you that one. But that's
wow.
You searched it up.
Wow. Okay, so if you look at it, it looks like a piece of corn with the husk.
Yes.
Yo. All right, y'all.
Yep.
Oh my goodness. Part 2.
Yeah, part 2.
Friday.
Because then you got to know, well, where can corn grow naturally without being taken care of? Because that's the next question. Because then you find out, oh my gosh, the Aztecs. The ones that disappeared and all these different, I'm not.
All right, y'all.
Okay.
All right, y'all.
Yeah, that's it.
Listen,
that's it.
We love y'all. We thank y'all for tuning in. We gonna be back next week with some heat. Yeah, be prepared.
If you have questions, definitely ask questions.
Send the emails, send the messages. Listen, give us some ideas, give us some topics.
Yes.
Let us know what you want to talk about. We open for conversation, bro. So we love y'all. Have a great night.
Yes, and thank you so much for tuning in. Appreciate y'all.
Absolutely.
Here at Fire 716 Radio, we'd like to remind our listeners that the views and opinions expressed on our radio station are not necessarily those of the station itself, its employees, or its affiliates. We do not endorse any product or service discussed on our station. Furthermore, any advice, suggestions, or other information discussed on our station should not be considered professional advice and should not be followed without consulting a qualified professional. Thank you for listening and have a great day. Here at Fire 716 Radio, we'd like to remind our listeners that the views and opinions expressed on our radio station are not necessarily those of the station itself, its employees, or its affiliates. We do not endorse any product or service discussed on our station. Furthermore, any advice, suggestions, or other information discussed on our station should not be considered professional advice and should not be followed without consulting a qualified professional. Thank you for listening and have a great day. Here at Fire 716 Radio, we'd like to remind our listeners that the views and opinions expressed on our radio station are not necessarily those of the station itself, its employees, or its affiliates. We do not endorse any product or service discussed on our station. Furthermore, any advice, suggestions, or other information discussed on our station should not be considered professional advice and should not be followed without consulting a qualified professional. Thank you for listening and have a great day.
What's up, everybody? It's Kier here, Inject Faith Hope Club. I am so excited to announce that you can now catch me right here on Fire 716 Radio each and every Monday for Inject Mondays at 7 p.m. So go ahead and download the app and rock out with your girl. Again, that's each and every Monday at 7 p.m. Tune in and have a good time with us.